it's not unusual when we feel afraid or anxious or attacked, whether that attack is actual or imaginary, to withdraw. And that makes a whole lot of sense, but it also comes with some inherent risks and dangers. In this time of separation, one of the things I suggest we need to watch out for very carefully is isolation. And those are not the same thing. And that isolation comes from, I think, two places. One place is that fear-based withdrawal, like a turtle pulling into its shell. And that one's easier to overcome. We just pick up the telephone, we Zoom, we say hi to our neighbors, all those little human interactions that generate connection. And I think it's really important from a spiritual and emotional and intellectual perspective to keep that vibration of connection going. But the other isolation, which we seem to be almost addicted to as a culture, is to isolate from other people when either their appearance or their age or their perspective or their politics or their faith is different from ours. And that isolation is bred from this idea is that if you see, feel, or believe differently from I, one of us must be wrong. And it sure as hell is not going to be me. That's a self-imposed isolation, which especially now is societally and culturally deadly for this country. We can get past that. And the way I have found, and I'm finding to get past it, is to acknowledge that you and I see something very differently. And that's a great response because it's non-judgmental. And then the second piece of the response is you and I see this differently. And I suspect that like every human being on earth, we have more in common than we have different. So let's set the 10% or the 12% or the 15%, because that's all it ever is. Let us set that aside and talk about how we work together in this lifeboat, and we leave those differences aside and we work the same way towards the same goal, which is happiness for our children, happiness for ourselves, success, all the things that make us human. And we're all in the same boat, you all. And if you and I can't row at least approximately in the same direction, all we're going to do is spin around and around and around, and we're not going to get any damn place.